In the vast domain that is cybersecurity, there are a lot of different job titles and professions. Examples could be a GRC analyst, a network security engineer, a cloud security engineer, a penetration tester, a digital forensics and incident response engineer, etc. In this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down the different domains within cybersecurity, rank them on a toughness matrix, being low to moderate, moderate to high, and the extremely tough cybersecurity roles and domains. And in this video, you can then see what exactly you want to get into, what are the different things you need to get into those domains, and is it even worth it being part of those specific domains that you're interested in. Before we proceed any further, a heartfelt thank you to everyone who subscribed to the channel and supported the channel from time to time. We finally hit 10,000 subscribers, which is a big number for me, although I'm very far away from a silver play button, but it's great. Thank you so much for constantly supporting my channel. If you like this video, do drop a like, also subscribe to the channel, and yeah, hang around, watch the video till the very end. The first domain that we'll be looking at is GRC. GRC stands for Governance, Risk, and Compliance. This domain is considered to be the less technical domains among the different cybersecurity domains. Reason being, there's not a lot of practical application within this domain. Rather, it involves a lot of reading and understanding of security principles, frameworks, compliance frameworks, risk assessment, etc. As the name suggests, GRC, Governance, Risk, and Compliance, you've got to focus a lot around setting security principles and enforcing those principles and standards, adhering to the different security compliance standards and frameworks for your organization. An example of this would be, let's say you're working as a GRC analyst and your company is onboarding a new product or a new software from a third-party vendor. It's going to be your responsibility to read all the documentation associated with that product, see how it fits in with your organization's compliance framework, with your organization's security standards and policies, and communicate with the vendor what things need to be incorporated, what things need to be changed based on that study. Hence, it involves a lot of communication with senior stakeholders. And that's the reason why I said earlier that it's not a very technical domain, but does involve a lot of communication. As a GRC engineer or a GRC analyst, you need to know the different security compliance standards. Some of them are ISO 27001, you've got the GDPR, you've got the PCI DSS, which focuses mainly on how credit card information is stored and dealt with. Similarly, you've got NIST, etc. What I'm going to do is I'm going to list a link in the description of this video. So if you want to know the different security compliance standards and frameworks, you can check that out. There are about 15 to 20 different ones listed on that website. On the difficulty rating, I would like to rate this domain as a low to moderate. Only reason being, it's not very difficult to understand and get into this specific part of cybersecurity, mainly because it's not technical. Again, I don't want to offend anyone who's in GRC because I'm constantly repeating that it's not technical, but that is the truth of the matter. Although you still got to have like basic IT understanding and how IT systems function, operate, what is an IT infrastructure, all of that stuff. But ultimately, you don't need to have the in-depth technical understanding. Some of the certifications, if you want to get like an entry-level GRC engineer role, would be the CompTIA Security Plus, which will help you understand the whole cybersecurity landscape. And other than this, you can also do the OCEG GRCP certification, which doesn't have any prerequisites, and all professionals, given whatever experience they have, can do this certification. There are two other certifications, and they are the CISA and the CRISC, both provided by ISACA. However, with these certifications, there are some prerequisites. For example, for the CISA, you need to have 5 years of work experience, and for the CRISC, you need to have 3 years of work experience. Hence, the CompTIA Security Plus or the GRCP certifications are great if you want to get started in this domain. The second one is going to be a SOC analyst or a cybersecurity analyst. Now, I've made another video previous to this one where I spoke about cybersecurity in 2025 in general, where I did cover these specific domains. But speaking about them again, a SOC analyst or a cybersecurity analyst, I'm using them as an overlapping domain, although they can be different compared to what organization you're working at. But in general, there is a lot of overlap between the duties of these two domains. But specifically what you're going to be working on is things like reading of logs, real-time monitoring of alerts in an organization, dealing with false positives, false negatives, and you'll be working a lot on SIEM tools. such as Splunk could be an example, where you've got to sift through thousands and thousands of alerts and logs and see what exactly is going on in your organization. A SOC analyst is very easy to be, and it's one of the beginner domains of cybersecurity. Hence, once again, I'm going to rank it on the more lower side when it comes to difficulty. Maybe not moderate, even more on the lower side of the difficulty rating. Some of the certifications again would be the CompTIA Security Plus, which covers the cybersecurity landscape. Other than this, you can also do the CompTIA Cybersecurity Analyst certification, which is a great little certification to help you get started within this domain. So if you like monitoring events, reading logs, checking alerts, then a SOC analyst or a cybersecurity analyst is a domain that you want to get into. Now, just as a note, that is, salaries within cybersecurity tend to be on the higher side. Every domain is going to have a different range or a different bracket, and I don't want to go into the depths of that because that is completely dependent on a lot of different contexts. Depends on the organization, the size of the company, your seniority, experience, etc. But in general, you could be looking anywhere upwards of $90,000 to $100,000, even if you're a beginner. There are many organizations that do offer those kind of salaries to engineers. The third domain or third profession is going to be a cloud security engineer. Yes, cloud engineering, cloud networking is on the rise over the past how many ever years, and it's an amazing domain to work in. A lot of your IT infrastructure, systems, networks, applications, platforms are mostly migrated to the cloud. And as a result of this, you need to have good security standards and a good secure cloud environment. As a result of this, a cloud security engineer comes into the picture. Your key duties as a cloud security engineer would be to ensure you've got good security standards within your cloud network. The way you're dealing with your data entering in and going out of your cloud, data at rest, what are you doing with your data in transit, all of that stuff. You've also got to know about IAM, which is identity and access management, which means who can have access to what resources, all of that cool stuff. Some of the certifications that can help you be a good cloud security engineer would be the Certified Cloud Security Professional. You've also got the AWS Security Specialty and the Azure Security Specialty, which AWS and Azure are two major cloud providers. And these two certifications can help you get a good understanding of what cloud security is. Now, on the difficulty score, I will probably rate cloud security more on the higher side, so maybe moderate to high difficulty. Main reason of this is I personally believe you cannot just be a cloud security engineer from scratch. You first need to have the basic understanding of, let's say, network engineering or cloud engineering in general, and then you can go into cloud security. Some of the titles within like the cloud security space would be a cloud security engineer, would be a DevSecOps engineer. That is also a title which mainly focuses on cloud security. Coming to the fourth domain, which is network security. Network security on the difficulty rating would also be on a moderate to high. Again, for same reasons as a cloud security engineer, is that you can't just be a network security engineer. You first need to be a good network engineer. You need to know networking, routing, switching, wireless networking, how systems communicate and operate within a network, quality of service, all of that amazing stuff when it comes to enabling connectivity between end-to-end devices. Therefore, once you're a good network engineer, let's say you've got the CCNA, which is a great certification for network engineering, you can then look at the more security aspect of things, which involves IDS, IPS, next generation firewalls, network access control, proxies, all of this stuff. Firewall technologies are immense when it comes to network security. I've made a separate video on firewalls, and if you want to be a network security engineer in 2025, do check that video out. And I've also got another video on the different network security interview questions. So if you're preparing to be a network security engineer, that is going to be a gold mine for you. Other certifications to be a network security engineer would include the PCNSA, PCNSE offered by Palo Alto, Fortinet NSE certifications, Checkpoint. These are all vendors that provide firewall certifications, and firewalls are the bread and butter of a network security engineer. The fifth domain that we'll be looking at is incident response and digital forensics, also called as DFIR, which is the exact opposite, digital forensics and incident response. But what this domain mainly focuses on is how to deal with security breaches and how to remediate them. Let's say you're working for an organization, and I'm giving you an example of what a DFIR incident or what a DFIR engineer would work on. That'll help you better understand what is sort of associated with this domain. So let's say you're working for an organization and you get an alert saying that one of your Windows laptops from an end user is constantly communicating with a C2 server. C2 is command and control. So it's constantly communicating with the C2 server. You don't know what are the different messages or, things being exchanged between this server and your infiltrated client machine. So what you do is, as a digital forensics part of DFIR, you would investigate, check the machine, see what are the different things going on, and complete a full analysis of this artifact, which is your infiltrated computer system. Then you move on to the incident response. The incident response consists of a lot of different stages, which involves things like preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, and documenting what lessons you've learned from this breach or attack that has sort of taken place. Now, on the difficulty rating, I would put the DFIR on the higher side. Hence, I would give it a high difficulty rating. Reason being, the stakes are very high when it comes to a DFIR engineer, because usually the job roles or the day-to-day activities or responsibilities revolve more around active breaches and threats that your organization is going to face. If you want to be a DFIR engineer, let's say you only want to get into digital forensics, you need to know and work on tools like autopsy and volatility. Example, volatility would be used to, let's say, perform a memory dump of this infiltrated machine, and that memory dump is then analyzed and seen, okay, what exactly was going on, what data has been leaked, what communication or what actions this C2 server was sort of instructing this machine to do, all of that amazing stuff. There are two certifications that are great to be a DFIR engineer, and they are provided by GIAC. The first one is the GIAC Certified Incident Handler, and the second one is the GIAC Certified Forensic Analyst. And finally, the last domain we'll be looking at is penetration tester or an ethical hacker. A penetration tester's role is to either attack or defend an organization or their systems. As a result of this, a penetration tester's roles are further divided into two different teams, which is a red team and a blue team. A red team is focused more on actively trying to infiltrate or break an organization or system's defense down. Hence, they're also called as offensive security engineers, whereas the blue team focuses more on the defense side of things. So you've got to protect your organization from incoming attacks or hacks. Being a penetration tester is hard. Hence, on the difficulty rating, I'm going to rate it on the higher end. The main reason for this is, if you want to be a penetration tester, you need to know different domains within cybersecurity. You need to know systems, you need to know networks, you need to know applications, because ultimately you've got to try and infiltrate all of these different barriers. Now, in my previous video that I made on cybersecurity in 2025, which again, you can check, the link will be in the description, I got absolutely hammered because I mentioned CEH, the Certified Ethical Hacker, as a certification if you want to get into penetration testing. Well, while I agree that CEH is kind of obsolete and it's super expensive and may not make a lot of sense in today's day and age, but if you want to get into it, any sort of information is great information. So maybe don't do the certification, but you can always do the course associated with that certification. However, when speaking about specific certifications, you can do the OSCP, which is the Offensive Security Certified Professional, or you can do the GIAC Certified Penetration Tester. So there you go. These were the different domains and job roles associated within cybersecurity. Certifications, duties, and everything that I could think of and speak about these different domains. If you've liked this video, I'd really like you to hit the like button, comment, drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the content that I provide, about the channel. Once again, thank you so much for 10,000 subscribers, and I'll see you in the next video.